Welcome to another Literacy Fridays session. We're still in our series on summarizing and summarizing, and in last week's session we looked at what it means to summarize, and we zoomed in on how to identify important facts by isolating opinions. Today we're going to zoom in on main ideas. The main idea is the most important point that is stated. So you can have many important points that are being given, but the main idea is the most important one. Quite often, the topic sentence presents the main idea. Be reminded too that whatever is stated could have been presented in oral form or in written form. So we may be required to summarize audio content or text. Now, to understand main idea and to identify the main idea in content, we first have to identify the different functions of the sentences that are being presented. The whole point of summarizing is to express the main points in a brief, clear way. And if it's brief, that means it used to be longer. So it would have been in extended form. And the extended form would more likely have been presented in paragraph form, meaning multiple sentences would have been presented. Now, to be able to identify the main idea, we have to understand the function of the different sentences that are given. Now, in any given paragraph, a sentence must be there that expresses a point, states a point. Then there may be sentences that either explains or provide examples, and generally we have a linking statement or statements that link the paragraph or link one paragraph to another paragraph. So an understanding of the roles of the different statements and clauses and sentences that are being stated will help us to understand how to identify the main idea. Remember, the main idea is the most essential point. So there may be several points that are being given, but we have to find the most important one. Let's now examine this paragraph. The paragraph states, there are many types of cats. Some are wild cats. Wild cats, like lions, cheetahs, and jaguars, live in wide open spaces like forests, and they have to care for themselves to survive. Domestic cats live with humans. They make great pets. Now let's see if we can identify the roles that these sentences are playing. The first sentence says there are many types of cats. What role is this playing? Is it stating a point? Is it explaining a point? Is it providing an example? Or is it linking the paragraph? Yes, the first sentence is expressing a point. Now, can we identify any other sentences that are expressing a point? The next statement says some are wildcats. That would sound like a point, and that's correct. However, that point is providing an explanation to the different types of cats. So it's giving even an example. And the third sentence is going to further give examples of what are wildcats. So if we move to the fourth sentence and it says domestic cat lives with humans, we realize that that one also is providing an explanation to the first point. Then when we look at the last sentence, it says they make great pens. That would also sound like a new point, but that point is just further explaining the second to last point. So it's a further explanation as to domestic cats. So if you guess that the first sentence is our main idea, then the paragraph says, oranges are citrus fruits which are sweet and juicy. Oranges are a good source of vitamin C and fiber. They are also high in potassium, which is a mineral that regulates heartbeat and muscle function. Oranges contain many nutrients. Now let's examine the different roles of the sentences in this paragraph. Our first statement of point would have been that oranges are citrus fruits which are juicy. Remember, in last week's sessions, we would have said that we need to omit the word sweet because that's a matter of opinion. and not all oranges are sweet. So, although this sentence expresses an essential point, we have to remember that when summarizing, we report facts only and avoid opinions. Now, the other sentences are all expressing lovely points. It's very important points, but they may not be the most important points. If you look at the next sentence, which says oranges are a good source of vitamin C and fiber, that's also a fact. Next one says they're also high in potassium, which is a mineral that regulates heartbeat and muscle function. That's also a fact. The last sentence says oranges contain many nutrients. Wow, that's also an important point. So let's label it as a point for now. After identifying that last sentence as also an essential point, you may realize that all the sentences between were just giving explanations. So those sentences were explaining how oranges are nutritious. Yes, it highlighted many of the nutrients from oranges. So, in identifying the main idea, this time it was not so clear-cut because here we have two important points. One, oranges are citrus fruits, and that oranges contain many nutrients. Remember, we are avoiding the inclusion of the word sweet because not all oranges are sweet. Yes, they're juicy. We may want to include that as well. So how can we combine the main points in these two sentences to ensure that we fully capture the main idea? Let's think. Here goes my response. Oranges are juicy, nutritious citrus fruits. That's the main idea. That's brief, isn't it? Join me next week for part 3 when we look at avoiding wordiness in summarizing.